What's up, everybody? Bobby Wisnan here. Can you imagine what your life would be like if most of your stress was eliminated? Can you imagine if most of your stress was gone? How different would your life be? Would you be happier? Would you be healthier? Would you have better relationships across the board? Your significant other, your friends, your family, your coworkers. How about your career? How much better would your career be? How would you feel about yourself? How much better would you feel about yourself? Yeah. Well, look, I guess the real question is stress powerful or is it powerless? Yeah. Well, my friends, the answer is up to you. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how to make stress powerless with this episode 9 of my Words of Wisdom. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to tell you the 3 kinds of stress we have in our life. And on top of that, I'm going to show you how to manage each and every one of them. Keep them at bay. You're going to love this. It's off the chart good stuff. I'm going to tell you a short story, an actual case study of one of my clients and how the stressful situation they had and how we handled it. And then I'm going to finish with a lesson from my 7 books of wisdom. So let's do this thing. Look, I want to start with a quote. Are you stressed because of your situation? Or is your situation stressed because of you? Yeah. Ponder on that for a little bit. It's usually the latter. We're the ones that typically make stress a lot more than it is. So what are the 3 kinds of stress? Okay. Number 1, the kind we see coming. You know what I'm talking about. Maybe it's a physical for our health. Maybe it's a doctor's visit. We're going to go to the dentist. Maybe it's a project we've got a due date's coming up. We got this, so we got to finish this thing. Maybe it's our vehicle, a payment on our vehicle, or some kind of financial payment that maybe it's our mortgage that we have coming up. We know it's coming, and we got to figure out how to, maybe don't have the funds this time. We're worried about being able to make payment. You got me? It's something that we see. Maybe it's a difficult situation where we've got to have a conversation with a significant other or our kids or the kid's teacher or a friend. You see what I'm saying? It's something we see. We know it's coming and we think about it and we stress about it, right? So the kind we see coming. The second kind of stress, the kind we never see coming. Oh man, that's a tough one. Same kind of things. They just pop in on us. You go out and get in your car one morning, you start it up and it's making this, wow, what's this noise? You're going to stress about it. Oh, all of a sudden a tooth starts hurting. Or I wake up one morning, I don't feel good. Or our doctor calls us and says, most of your blood was good, but I'm a little concerned about you. You got some high blood pressure and your cholesterol was up. You didn't know it. That's something we didn't see coming. You get into an argument with your significant other or a friend, or something happens at work out of the blue. Man, you never saw it coming. Bam, instant stress, right? We didn't see it coming. It just falls in on you out of nowhere. Got me? And then the third type of stress. This is the most common type of stress that we'll ever have in our entire lives. You ready? Type number 3. The kind of stress we ask for. Oh man, yeah. You know what I'm talking about. Not being prepared, not taking care of our health. Yeah. What about that vehicle out there? What about not doing the maintenance on that vehicle? What about not getting ready on time? Maybe we're not giving ourselves enough time to get to work or get to a meeting or to meet someone. That's stressful. And we hit a traffic jam. That's stressful, right? The kind of stress we ask for, this is where we can make the biggest difference. Because we eliminate that piece, it's going to do 2 things. It's going to help us deal with those other 2 types of stress. The kind we see coming, the kind we never see coming. And guess what? We're going to eliminate a lot of that as well. It's a win-win. All right. So how do we deal with this? How do we deal with these 3 types of stress? Well, here's the good news. You deal with them all the same. They can overlap. You can have stress come in and it might be all 3 of these kinds, or it might be 2 of them, but you deal with them the same. I've got 6 things I'm going to give you today. Man, look, you put these in your life. If you will utilize what I'm about to tell you, you will eliminate most of your stress. Are you ready for this? Man, I'm ready. Here we go. You're going to love it. It's going to change your life. Number 1, and my friends, you got to get this one. You got to nail this one down. You got to absorb this one, because without this, we don't have much. Number 1, we've got to stop calling it stress management. We got to call it what it really is. Self-management. That's right. Look, a lot of sources of stress we're never going to be able to control. Never. Life happens. That kind of stress, the kind we never see coming, you kidding me? We don't know when this vehicle's going to break down. We don't know when we might have a toothache, or we might get a fever or start feeling bad, or we're at odds with somebody out of the clear blue. We don't know. We can't manage a lot of that stuff. There are a lot of sources of stress we can't manage. So why waste our time doing it? Why waste our effort and our energy and our emotions, or we're trying to manage something that can't be managed? Right. But where do we put our efforts? Into something that we can always manage. Our reaction to stress. How are we reacting to it? My friends, we can control this and manage this no matter what the situation is. It may be harder in some situations than others, but our reaction can be managed. You got me? It's self-management, not stress management. Lock that in. Get that mindset turning, because that's the first step. You got me? Okay, I'm going to move on to number 2. Look at the reality of the stress. What is it really? Well, here's what happens, being the human beings we are, is we overreact to stress. And you know what I'm talking about. All these negative thoughts start popping in our head. Oh my gosh, well, if I can't make this payment, how am I going to make the other 6 or 7 payments? I have my vehicle, my insurance, all this stuff, my health. Oh my gosh. We start this self-defeating, self-negativity in our mind. We ruminate. We grow this one stress into about 50 others. We do. We snowball it because we are reacting to it in a negative way. We're not managing our reaction. Look at the reality. What is the stress? And that's that's exactly where we need to put our focus. Do a self-check. Are you overreacting to it? Probably. And initially, yes. Get a hold of it. Right? Manage your reaction. Look at the reality. Okay? And make sure you're not overreacting. Number 3. Oh, this is a big one. Be prepared. What I mean by that is, let's look at finances for a second. If I know these payments are coming, and they're recurring in the same time every month. Now, I know things happen, and we're able, the unexpected stress, unexpected bills, things happen and put us in a spot. But if you start saving money and do a budget and prepare saving for times like this and plan ahead, right? You got to be prepared. You're going to be able to tackle that stress when this unexpected payment comes in. So really take a look at your budget and your finances. Look at your health. The better you take care of your health now, right, the better it's going to be next month and next year and 10 years down the road. Health is a great example. Health and finances are probably the best examples on being prepared. What about work? Where I live, the traffic gets congested easily. So I'm going to look at my app and see, where is it bottled up? I'm going to plan ahead. I'm going to be prepared to take a different route. I'm going to get up 15, 20 minutes earlier. My point is, when you have something in front of you, be prepared. Don't put it off. Be educated. Know what you're going to. If you're going into a sales call, you're going into a meeting, be prepared. Be prepared for something it may be something, a completely unexpected question. Know your business. Be prepared. Okay, that's number 3. Number 4, when stress pops in your life, no matter which kind it is, 1, 2, or 3, devise your plan immediately. Yeah. And here's what I mean by planning. Maybe you need to talk to someone. Maybe you need to have a conversation with someone that you trust, someone that you're able to talk to, a friend, a family member, a coworker. Lay it out there, man. They may have experienced the same. Chances are somebody's experienced this stress before, and they're going to have a good idea for you to conquer this stress, right? And who knows, you might be able to teach them a thing or two. Listening to me, yeah, I'm going to give you some good stuff. Plan ahead. Talk to someone if you need it. Seek help, right? You don't have to do it on your own. And then here's what I do. I do this myself. When a stress pops up in front of you, make a list of the specific things you need to do to eliminate this stress. If it's your vehicle, well, okay, I gotta call the mechanic, right? I need to make plans, maybe for a rent car, whatever that is. You see, so you make a list of the things that you need to do to handle that particular situation. Monitor your thinking. If you start ruminating on all the other things that might happen, you got to dial that back. Make a list of what you need to do, okay? Draw up your plan and initiate it immediately. Get it moving. Don't wait. It's the worst thing you can do. Number 5, visualize positivity. Visualize your stress turning into something positive. In other words, visualize you having a remedy for this stress. See yourself on the other side of this stress. Now you can visualize yourself and you're smiling and or maybe it's a positive event you've had in your past. That works too. But with the particular stress, look, our minds love pictures. They love pictures. That's why we dream. Why not give it what it wants? Set your mindset, control your mindset to be something positive. Lean that way. Get the catalyst going that way. And you do that with visualization. Feed your mind the positive outcome of the stress. Instead of feeding it with all the, oh my gosh, what ifs and whatnots and what if I do this and it's going to make me do this. Replace that negativity with a positive outcome visualization. You got me? It's powerful. It's the most powerful tool we have as humans, yet it's the most underused. Now I'm talking about visualization. Train your brain to see things in a positive way. Number 6. Again, these are the 6 things you need to deal with any kind of stress. Number 6, learn. Oh man, we're all guilty of missing this one. The experience of going through a stress can help you with the next stress if you learn. And here's what I mean. Look at where you made mistakes. I talk about the balance of this and my other podcasts, but balance it out. Look at, okay, I'm in this stress. If it's one of these type 3 stress where it's the kind of stress I asked for, then where did I go awry to bring this stress upon me? How did I bring this self-imposed stress upon myself? Okay, how can I fix that? Be aware, learn from it, and then also balance out with what did I do good? What did I do that was productive and progressive in handling this stress? Yeah, remember those things. That's how we learn, because my friend, I guarantee you, sources of stress are around every single corner. But if we will manage our reaction to it, instead of trying to manage that stress over there, oh man, we're going to free our mind. You're going to be better. You will achieve emotional freedom. I talk about this a lot, but you will. It's a wonderful thing. So let me tell you a quick story. Had a lady contact me. She was in the corporate world. She was an executive. And everything was great. She thought she was really good at managing her reactions to stress up to this certain point. I mean, it hit her out of nowhere. She was in an executive meeting, and she was in charge of coming up with a solution to this problem in a big company. It's a big company. She proposed her solution in an executive meeting, and another executive disagreed with her. And for some reason, this hit her really hard. It bothered her for the next month. It started affecting her home life, her family, her kids, her relationships, her health, because she was trying to manage the stress and letting the reaction get to her. She called me, we sat down, she told me the story. I said, here's what you got to do. You have to meet with this person and tell them how you're feeling. That's our plan. Okay, so she prepared and she put it together. The next day she met with her. She walked in her office. She told her, the lady that disagreed with her. She goes, this is what happened. I've been worried about it. And this lady looked at her confused. She goes, oh my gosh, I hadn't even thought about that. I didn't see it as a disagreement. I was just giving my opinion on what I thought we should do in addition to what you said. She goes, I'm sorry. Now that you tell me how that felt, I can see that my response led to that and made you feel insecure and stressed out. I'm sorry. Guess what? Hey, instant relief. And they actually became friends, and I'll leave that for another story. But it was a great turnout. She walked out of her office, immediately felt relief, felt like her old self again. And here's the bigger part, is that in the future, any kind of stress that came up, she realized that she needed to manage her reaction to it. She improved all parts of her life. Her home life, her health. Man, she did so many things because she learned self-management instead of stress management. Which, remember, is that first thing we've got to do. We've got to stop calling it stress management. Manage yourself. You got me? Your reaction to it. Take ownership. Take control. You control your reaction. You got me? The second thing is to look at the reality. Make sure you're not overreacting and filling your head with negative outcomes. Be prepared. Be prepared as much as you can for work, for projects, having conversations with someone. Be prepared. Plan. Talk to someone if you have to. When a stress comes up, talk to someone about it. And make a list of the specific things you need to do now, to eliminate this stress. Visualize positive outcomes. You can visualize any day. I suggest you do it every day. But visualize the actual stress turning out positive. Put your mind in a positive mind. Put in a positive what? In a positive mode. Get the catalyst spinning. And then lastly, learn. Yeah. Remember it, because you're going to have to come back to that thing. You are. That's how stress will always be out there. But we can manage our reaction to it. I'm going to read a lesson to you. It's my book 2 of my 7 books of wisdom, Turning Anxiety into Power. And I talk about both anxiety and stress in here. And I'm going to read you read this quote, okay? It's one of my favorite. And then I'm going to read the lesson to you. If stress were a vehicle, it would be an 18-wheeler or a bus. It's big, powerful, and intimidating, but it can't hurt you if nobody is driving it. Let me read it again. This is the quote. If stress were a vehicle, it would be an 18-wheeler or a bus. It's big, powerful, and intimidating, but it can't hurt you if nobody is driving it. We're the ones usually driving the stress. We're driving the big monster, the big intimidating stress. We are. But now we know how not to do that. Here's the reality of what I'm talking about. Stress is a certainty, but how much power it has is mostly determined by the individual facing it. If we try and run from fear, ignore it and do nothing, or we don't handle it immediately, its power grows bigger and bigger, and it will eventually run over us. Yeah, it gets us. But on the other hand, if we stand up and face it, acknowledge it, and devise a plan to conquer it, stress will rapidly lose its wheels, its power, and its ability to push us around. Remember, stress and anxiety may look like a big, bad demolition machine on wheels, but it's because we taught it to drive. Yeah. Here's the plan. Okay, this is where we get started, managing our reaction, managing ourselves. The biggest asset in dealing with stress is timing. It's imperative you immediately devise and put your plan into action when fear comes at you. You can knock the wheels off if you don't waste time worrying about it and start doing something to rid yourself of it. Think of things you need to do to handle particular stress. Write them if you need to, and immediately put them into action. Don't forget to ask for help as well if you need to. Now here's your action. This is where the tire meets the road. You ready? Here's your action. Here's what you can do, and I want you to do this. Do it. Send it to me. Let me see it. We'll talk about it. Your action. Making a plan to cool off stress isn't the easiest thing to do, but it's the most effective. Take a moment and think about the stress that may be constant for you. After that, put your plan together by writing the things you need to get the pressure off your back. I've listed a few things here to get you started. Here's what you want to do. Okay, here we go. Here's a question. Do I need someone to help me? Okay, it's a good one. What personal changes can I make now that will help me? Yeah, a lot of stress is recurring. You know that. We have some of the same stresses over and over and over again because we're not dealing with it. We're trying to deal with stress. We're not dealing with our reaction. What specific actions do I need to take today? Yeah, like now. What do I need to do? Do I need to get advice from someone? Always helps. Do I need to research answers? There's that being prepared part. Educate yourself on things. Because we hear things and we're like, we can get in the media, we hear it on social media, we hear it, somebody tells us, oh, do you know this is happening? Well, instead of stressing out, instead of reacting to it negatively, go take a look at it for yourself. Go take a look at it for your own mental wealth, your mental wellness, and come up with your own opinion and your plan to eliminate stress. I think you got it. These are the things that will help you achieve emotional freedom. Stress is common. Stress is out there. But if you handle it, if you do the things I've taught you, your life will be a lot better. It's going to change because you're going to eliminate most of your stress. You're taking the power away from stress and putting it within yourself. You're going to do great. I appreciate you watching and listening today. Go make it yours because it's out there waiting for you. I'm Bobby Wisnan. Thanks for listening.